Hey Ashwin, very good morning.
Hi Sam, very good morning to you as well.
Hi, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty much awesome.
Okay, okay,
It's
okay, okay.
been
So,
a very good
Ashwin,
journey so
yeah,
far.
okay, okay, excellent, excellent. Ashwin, I can see that your video is off. So, if you are comfortable, can you start your video if you're not outside
Actually,
or yeah.
I'm sorry Sam. Actually, I'm traveling right now, so I couldn't come on
Okay, okay,
video.
no problem, no problem. So let it be off, no worries. Okay, so it's nice talking to you, Ashwin, after long time, and I got the great news that you joined to your new job, and here we are to listen your inspiring story, Ashwin. Okay, so how are you? How are you feeling after joining the new job? How is it?
I would say it is pretty much amazing. The job is really good for me. So right now, I have been engaged in a brand new project, which is considered to be one of the most important factor for the growth
Wow.
as far as the company and myself is concerned.
Okay.
So it's been a really good feeling. It's actually great to be a part of this job right now, my dream job right now.
Wow, we can feel the excitement, and I'm very happy for you, and it's truly inspiring, I'm observing you closely from last, I think, more than 1 year or so, and I'm feeling really happy for you, Ashwin. It's great to know that you join your dream job, and I can sense that excitement, from your voice, that you are really feeling excited to work on the new job, right? Okay,
Thank you so much,
okay.
Sam. It's been a wonderful journey with you. You have been the important factor for my growth. So I
Yep,
would say that.
my pleasure. My pleasure, my pleasure. Sight. I'm just the medium, by the way. It's all your sincerity, your commitment, and all. I'm just the medium to facilitate the journey and nothing else. So, Ashwin, just our audience, I'm asking this question on behalf of our audience that uh, it's great that you are feeling great about your job and all. So, we would love to hear from you about your background and your whole career journey, right from your degree and what is your degree, and since then have you reached to this your dream job. So we would love to know from you.
Sure, Sam. I would. It will be grateful for me to share my
Yeah.
story with you. Basically, I am a BE graduate specialized in
Mhm.
computer science engineering.
Okay.
To be honest, I had a very lethargic college life. I had arrears as well, but
Mhm.
managed to get rid of them at least before the time of the placement interviews.
Okay.
Uh, I gave a couple of campus interviews, but I failed.
Oh.
And on my third attempt,
Mhm.
I got placed in an MNC.
Okay.
That company, it isn't much more familiar to most of the people, but actually was a very good competent to all the big MNCs.
Okay.
I at that time I was extremely proud, since I was the only person from my class to get placed in that organization.
Wow, that's really great. Mhm.
I was wondering myself, ever since I got placed, I was wondering myself on how I would be working on the development projects, how dynamically I would be writing the codes and everything. But fortunately or unfortunately, I was assigned in a support role.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
it wasn't a kind of a support at all. It was a, monitoring project. So I had
Monitoring
just one
project.
job to do.
Mhm. It is which year? When did you passed out your BE computer, Ashwin?
It was in 2017.
2017. Okay.
So I joined the company in August 2017.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Go on.
Okay, so I was assigned in a monitoring project.
Hmm.
I just had one job to do.
Okay.
I had to inform the respective teams if any issue were raised. The application call was called as NOC, NOC.
Okay. Hmm.
And ever since I was struck, and I was struck really hard. I had to go through a lot of phases in that project. After an year, I decided to move on.
Right.
I tried getting into data science field, but
Hmm.
since I was weak in mathematics, I couldn't clear anything.
Okay.
Because data science requires a lot of mathematics skills, I think,
True. True.
as far as I know.
Yep.
So finally, with the help of one person, I got an opportunity to work in a TIPCO project, and it was a TIPCO support project.
Okay.
It wasn't a purely TIPCO support. Instead, it was a support for an application which was developed in TIPCO tool.
Okay.
So it was specific to that application alone. So we had nothing to do with TIPCO.
Okay. It was
So
just for the sake of name. It was a TIPCO project, but no work opportunity was there in the really TIPCO product, in a sense, right?
yeah, it wasn't no work was involved in TIPCO tool at all.
Okay.
My daily task was to run the same SQL query on a daily basis
Mm-hmm.
and see if there is any blockages in the system, and
Mm-hmm.
if there is any blockage, I had to perform the recursive workaround, which is a repetitive workaround, and
Okay.
I had to do the same thing every day.
Okay.
So this was my role in the support project. So as you could feel from my voice, I wasn't satisfied at all with my job
True.
in
True.
in all the in all the perspective of my professional life.
That's right.
So ever since I joined that project, so again I decided to shift, and now instead of any other technologies like data sciences or something else,
Mm-hmm.
I thought of moving towards TIPCO directly.
Right.
So I started learning TIPCO BW development,
Mm-hmm.
and after some serious learnings and something, I tried by myself, and with the help of another person, I came to know the basic topics and foundations of TIPCO.
Okay.
And after some time, people suggested me to go for MuleSoft instead of TIPCO, since it had a better scope and a better market, uh,
True.
at least for now.
Right.
So what happened next was the shifted. I mean, what happened next? It just shifted the gear of my whole career life. I came to know about you and your training. I had some lot of serious training with you for a couple of months. Gave multiple tries with your guidance, and now I'm standing in a pretty good position. Most importantly, with job satisfaction.
Wow, wow. And I can feel the pain, Ashwin, that now you are the representative of all those people. So with excitement, you guys join B computer kind of core programming development kind of degree, whatever. That means some up and down is there in the colleges and all, that's fine. But with excitement, you appear for campus interviews and you join your company, and all due respect to all roles, support and admin and monitoring and all those roles, but somehow I can feel the pain that you learn a lot in the BA computer degree, and whenever you come to your project, it's like anybody can do that. It doesn't require any computer background, doesn't require any skill as such. It is just a monotonous and mechanical task. So I can feel that pain, that it's like underutilizing somebody's potential. You had great potential, you had great capability, but somehow not got the suitable place, suitable opportunity and suitable work, right?
Exactly, Sam. Exactly.
Right. And I can sense and I can feel that pain. There may be n number of people like you that even if you're coming from core computer background, somehow industry is not giving that kind of capable work to you. Okay, again, that may be the position available and that's what may be assigned to you. That's perfect. But it's good that you actually came out of that comfort zone. If anybody else would have been there, would have been satisfied with that monitoring work, or maybe same SQL query kind of work, SQL query running, as you said, and might have been stuck up for a long time in that comfort zone. So it's pretty good that it's a matter of 2 3 years and you just came out of that comfort zone and you really hit hard the industry and you got your deserving job, dream job, right? That's
Exactly. Yes, sir.
really,
Yes.
that's truly inspiring. That's truly inspiring. So and you also told us that firstly you got into TIPCO and then you got shifted to Mule 4. So by any chance you got chance to work on TIPCO projects, or you directly get into the Mule and jump into the Mule thing?
No, our organization didn't have a TIPCO development project as well.
Okay, okay,
Most of the projects were a support kind of project. So even I didn't give a try outside for a TIPCO project, TIPCO role at all. So in the midway, people suggested me to shift towards MuleSoft
Mule.
in the initial phase
Hmm.
itself rather than going through TIPCO, because comparatively, MuleSoft is considered to be a better tool for
Correct.
now, at least for now.
Correct, correct, correct. And it has very bright future. Salesforce owns MuleSoft. So that was the right decision you made. You have that feeling, right? That was your right decision to get into Mule instead of TIPCO, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
I
okay.
even you gave me a couple of options,
Yep.
Tipco or MuleSoft, and you suggested me to go for MuleSoft. So
MuleSoft.
uh,
Okay.
that actually helped me to
Very good. Very
take
good.
my
So
decision strong.
you perfect, perfect. And you touch one point also, that getting into data science and other kind of technology, over that you have chosen the product part, so instead of technology you have chosen product part, maybe TIPCO, maybe Mule, instead of getting into data science or any Java based technologies. So you have chosen product part, right? So that was the good decision for you. So any thought process you had over there, that instead of going to data science, let me go to the product side, Mule or TIPCO side? So any thought process you had specifically over there?
So I didn't have a single hands-on experience on any data science projects or any other programming languages as well.
Mm-hmm.
But when TIPCO was considered, there were TIPCO developers in my current, I mean, in the previous project I was working on. So I could communicate with them and get a real-time experience
Wow.
from their experience at least.
Correct, correct.
So I would communicate with. There were around 4 to 5 TIPCO developers in the support project,
Mm-hmm.
and I would have a session with each and every one of them to know
Great.
how the exact development project would be, so that I had a really good idea on how the interviews will be. So rather
Mm-hmm.
than going for a completely blank technology, I thought of going to a technology which I could be something familiar of.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. That's the great practice, and that is other people can something learn from you, that getting in touch with your circle before you get prepared. Attending training and getting ready, that is anyway will go on parallelly, but along with that, what different thing you have done, you got in touch with your friends and you got the you tried to get the real time feel of the project, in TIPCO and MuleSoft and all. So that was your practice, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay, okay,
yeah.
okay. Excellent, excellent. And while I remember one of my past student recommended your name, one of your friend. That was my past student, and who recommended you in my training program. You attended Mule for live program, whatever the 2.5 months format you have. You attended that one, right? That's a long program, every day 1 hour, 1.5 hour, and you
Yes,
attended that program. You
yes, sir.
attended, right? Perfect. So I have seen you closely in the
Yes,
training
sir. Yeah.
program as well. You were always like interactive in the training, and you was always ahead in completing all the daily challenges, whatever we have in our training program. You were always ahead. So can you share with us that how differently you have done the training, that whatever quality of training and all that I can give from my side, but from your side, from learner side, what you will tell other people that how they can get maximum out of this training program, what you have practiced, that we want to know.
Okay, so I in the initial right from the initial stages, I just fell in love with MuleSoft.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, the story was like I had a friend in my previous organization, as you uh, as you told. So he was more or less like a brother to me.
Right.
His name was Kasi Ram.
Yep.
So he was actually a TIPCO developer.
Mm-hmm.
So ever since I joined, I mean, I decided to learn TIPCO. He gave me the foundation on what TIPCO was and where it was actually used.
Okay.
So in my support project, I had to log in by 12 p.m. and
Mm-hmm.
it went on to 9 p.m. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, so in order to make use of the time, I traveled a bit earlier and reached my office by 11 a.m. So
Okay.
so that I had an hour to spend for myself. So he was actually patient enough to make a person like me to understand the core concepts of TIPCO. So
Okay.
soon after I thought of moving to MuleSoft, he was the one who gave me your contact and explained me how good you are.
Okay.
His statements made me understand that you are one of the best trainers. So I browsed through MyV University, the website of yours, and
Correct. Correct.
actually I got enrolled in the live classes. And to be honest, Kasi actually he was true to his words that the classes were too good. It wasn't a kind of a typical training. Instead, the classes were made more engaging, that one would feel addicted to the learnings.
Yep.
Actually, I was much more aligned to your training part, and it didn't feel like 1 hour or 1.5 hours. Actually, it was really good to be a part of the training, and the entire session actually gave me more confidence. I was totally addicted to the way of your teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And even I was offered offline recorded classes, so that even if I
Right.
had skipped any session, I wouldn't have to worry about. So
Correct.
for your question, so what made me take the classes differently? It was you. So you made the classes more engaging and more interesting. So every time the session ends, and I would be waiting for the assignment you would provide,
True.
so that I
Challenge,
can make
challenge
use
at
of
the end,
challenges.
challenge we
Yeah,
call it as. Perfect.
yeah. I was purely addicted to those challenges actually. So I was engaged, and I mean, I was wondering what challenge you would provide the very next day. So those kind of much more engaging way of teaching made me fall in love with MuleSoft.
Excellent. Excellent. And you used to be regular. I remember that you used to be regular, sending me the solution on the WhatsApp and taking the review comments, working on that. And we used to have a lot of interaction during the training, off the class, not during the class, but off the class also. We used to have a lot of interaction, on WhatsApp and on call. I remember that.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Okay, okay. Excellent, excellent. So completing challenges on time, that's the message I'm taking from Ashwin to all my learners. Even if I'm trying to give you everything, completing challenges on time. So I always say during training program, if you have backlog during the week, complete it over the weekend, but don't carry the challenges. Just attending session day by day, you are enjoying session, that's not sufficient. Completing challenges, so 1 hour online, 1 hour offline, that's what is the model. Okay, okay, that's excellent to know. And you really utilize the training. Now coming to the end of the training, we finish the training after 2.5 months, 3 months, long time, and appreciate your patience. You attended all the session. I hardly remember you miss any session, even if the duration was long. Tell us something about post training thing, because I remember we used to have call post training, we used to have call. I remember whenever you used to give the interview, after the interview, you used to call me. We used to have a lot of interaction on that. You used to share a lot about that, and you used to take a lot of learnings from your interview, whatever is the result of the interview. But I remember particularly this used to happen in your case. So tell us your journey post training till you get the job. What exactly you have done? How many times you appear for interviews? How was your interview experience? And tell us about that. I'm sure it will be enlightening experience for other people also.
Uh, yeah, sure. I actually had to go through a lot of phases.
Mhm.
It wasn't that simple. To be precise, it wasn't simple at all.
Right.
I hope you might be knowing my
Yes.
entire scenarios.
Yep.
So I didn't have a single hands-on on any mule projects.
Hmm.
But your training, actually, at the end of your training, I had a lot more confidence to take up the interviews. But since the since I didn't have any hands-on experience on any projects, it was much more difficult for me to clear any of the interviews, actually.
Right.
So I actually, in my first interview, I thought of answering. I answered the questions pretty well, at least from my perspective. But
Correct.
the interviewer had other ideas, and he rejected me right away.
Okay. Okay.
From then on, I actually gave numerous interviews until, I mean, I gave around 11 interviews, and I
11.
didn't clear
Okay.
any one of, yeah, 11
Okay.
interviews. I didn't clear any one of them. At least I would clear the first round as well as the second round, but I would fail to clear the other subsequent rounds.
Okay.
Uh, on a worst case scenario, there was one company which was a really good company, and they
Hmm.
were focusing much more on MuleSoft projects.
Hmm.
It was a 4 round interview. I cleared around 3 rounds,
Hmm.
and the final round was a HR round. But unfortunately, there was another technical HR round, which focused mainly on complex DWL statements,
Hmm.
wherein I failed to clear that interview.
Okay.
So similarly, I had a lot more interviews wherein there were even scenarios wherein the interviewer, in one interview, the interviewer just laughed at my answers. That was really
Oh,
really awkward for me
frustrating.
to,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, frustrated,
True.
since I actually I mean prepared well, but laughing at one's answer won't make them feel so good, right? And
Right. Right.
at least in the formal interview, it wasn't in an informal interview at all. It was a formal interview. Laughing at one's answer, actually, it made
I
me feel
understand.
a lot more down.
I understand.
So actually, I had to wait almost an year after completing the course, actually,
Right.
since I didn't have a hands-on experience.
Hmm.
The companies were expecting a lot more from me, but
Mm.
which they couldn't see in myself.
Okay.
So after waiting for an year, uh, I had to face a lot of challenges, and finally I landed in a mule job. And in fact, I grabbed 3 offers at the same time.
Right.
So
Three
this
offers
is
you
my,
had, and you have chosen one of them. Wow.
yes.
Okay, okay, okay. So I can see the transformation. You know, the struggling candidate to star professional who is having three options to choose and uh, picking up one offer. You know, having holding three offer letters. Of course, even if you spend 1 year, even if you gone through bad experiences in the interview, right? But what I appreciate is you just came back after each interview. I remember after each interview, we used to have the call and we used to say, okay, so technical, see, that happens, you know, interviewer always has their own questions, own expectation. Some of the interviewer, they just put their project problem in front of you and they ask you to solve online. So that happens, you know, that's okay. But, and again, laughing at somebody's answer, you can correct that person, you don't correct that person, but laughing that may be the personal issue, that nothing to do with that company. That company must be very good company, processes, HR, everything good, but that is individual my negative point, if somebody is laughing at your answer. And the main thing, you have not put you down. That was the temporary phase, getting frustrated at that moment, but you again came back and you learn a lot, and every interview made you better and took you closer to your goal. That's what happened, Ashwin, right?
Yes, yes, right about
Right.
that.
And I think all that 11 interviews where you got your no, because some 12th yes, which is more stronger in all that 11 companies, some 12th best was waiting for you. That's why you gone through that 11 interviews. And I think you are my role model for all my learners, all my students, saying that I proudly quote your example always, that if somebody can give 11 interviews with this much stickiness, somebody from support background is so much strong and so much desirable to get into the developer role. If he can do that, anybody can do that, and everybody should do that. This stickiness, even if you spend 1 hour, it gave you a lot of learning, that's okay. But spending 1 hour, we spend like 4 years in the degree, to wait for the job, and still we don't get the job. So spending 1 year, it's also worth, going through all the interviews and not stopping there. And even if you have 12 success, let it be, that's okay. You are the live example for that, Ashwin. That's really great to know, Ashwin.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, okay, excellent, excellent. Now, Ashwin, I have seen many support people and admin people. They feel like I don't have computer background. I don't have, even whatever batch you attended. You might observe many people were there without IT background. They were attending Mule 4 and they were doing pretty good in the training. Okay, I never felt that IT, non-IT, any bifurcation. No, everybody was, even non-IT people were really working good. So if somebody is from production, support, admin, that kind of role, and hesitating to come to the developer role because of lack of background in programming, or lack of computer degree, or maybe lack of hands-on experience, and they want to, because getting into developer role, having the great future, all due respect to admin and production support, but that developer take you for long, and you have good salary package and everything, and good set of opportunities industry, so that is there. So do you have something to give some insight to such people, that what should they really follow, what should they really think about whenever they are hesitating to move from production support to developer role, Ashwin?
Yes, sir. So one thing I just wanted to share some thing with with everyone.
Hmm.
Every time I look back at my life, so this might be weird, but I just wanted to say this.
Sure.
A scene from the movie Avengers Endgame come to my mind.
Okay.
Uh, there is a scene where Thor travels back in time
Hmm.
to get one of the Infinity Stones from
Hmm.
Asgard. I mean,
Yep.
his actually his world.
Hmm.
Uh, and after getting that Infinity Stone, he would extend his hand to get something back. Uh, so it takes some time, and meanwhile his mother says sometimes it takes time to get something. And suddenly the Mjolnir, I mean his signature weapon, Thor usually uses that weapon. So
Yep.
it comes flying back to his hand, and he would say, "I am still worthy."
Yep.
So that phrase, I'm still worthy, it had a huge connection with myself.
Hmm.
Every time I just failed to clear any interviews, I was feeling down and lonely. And but with your guidance and with your training plan and systematic plan, I tried multiple times and finally I backed the offer.
Yep.
So
I like that line, I'm still worthy. Yep.
yes, that line actually it struck me so hard. So I'm still worthy. Every time I hear it, I had a really good connection with my life. I mean, I didn't have much more confidence on myself. I Every time I tried to attend any interviews, I feel very down. Even before the interview time itself, I was feeling down. I would think myself I'm not that worthy to get any development project or not. I mean, or something. So actually, after trying for multiple times and finally after getting the offer, this phrase actually, "I'm still worthy," it came to my mind. It comes to my mind every single time. So
Wow.
apart from that, I had people who actually from my previous organization who joined alongside me. They were actually okay with the support kind of roles.
Mm.
I had a jump from there, but they are
Yeah.
still sticking on to the same job. So I won't call it as a sin to be a part of the support project, but I actually won't appreciate people to be in their comfort zone every single time. So they, I mean, instead of being sticking around in their comfort zone, they have
True.
to come out and try for any other opportunities. But and you can trust me, so it actually pays off.
Correct.
So I right now I am actually I'm actually having a really good feeling and with a job satisfaction, and and obviously I'm getting paid a lot.
Yep.
At least in my next jump in 1 year, I'll be reaching the six-figure mark. That
Wow.
actually I have the
Six.
confidence on
You said 6 times. I missed that.
six-figure mark,
Six figure
six-figure
mark you
salary.
will be reaching after 1 year. I want to record this line. So now can you see the difference? Now you are the live example of that. Your pay package while you were working in support, your pay package now after you joining development, and your pay package after maybe 1 year, whatever plan you have. So can you see the significant difference? Support development, there is significant difference in pay package.
Of course, yes. We can demand after getting into a developer role. I hope I have the lot of confidence to demand what I would expect.
Perfect.
So I don't have to stay in line with the HR people or someone, but I myself can demand something since I
Perfect.
have the skill and hands-on right now.
Whatever you
After
deserve, you can demand whatever you deserve. So previously it was like you could not demand because you are not in that kind of opportunity which will truly utilize your potential. You are underutilized on your previous job. Nothing wrong in being support, but if somebody is from non-IT, let it be in support, because I anyway don't have any option over there. But people like you who have great potential and can really jump out of that, and you can see the significant change in the package also. So if I ask you how many times more, your support pay package and I'm not asking your salary package, but your developer project and the support, how many times it is more, or in percentage if you can tell us.
around 85% it was more.
Okay, okay, 85 percentage. So it's almost double, almost double. And this is your first project. So whenever you will take a leap from this project after taking 1 year, 2 year, then that will be significant, another 100%, I'll say. Why not? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's great to know, Ashwin. You really gave me great insights and a lot of eye-opening facts and lot of inspiration that is coming. So, friends, whoever listening, Ashwin. So somehow we could not start the camera, otherwise you would have seen Ashwin talking. But no problem, it doesn't make any difference. You could feel his enthusiasm, his energy, and his happiness. Most important thing, his job satisfaction from his voice. Okay. And I have seen Ashwin very closely while getting into the training, after training, giving interviews, getting failing, and coming back and giving another interview. And yes, 12th time he got the success. So he is a role model of that. So thanks a lot, Ashwin, for giving your valuable time. Thanks a lot sharing your inspiring story. Stay in touch. All the best for your bright future and whatever you are planned to do to reach to your six figures income. Very soon we will have another interview where you will say that I crossed six figures income. Yep.
Sure, sure, sir. One last thing I just wanted
Sure,
to share.
sure. Go ahead.
I don't I just I won't call it as an advice. I just want to suggest people. not to be afraid of the failures. Actually, I'd seen a lot of failures, so even I was afraid. But I would say the people not to be afraid of the failures, and to have a systematic plan, uh, trusting thyself. So these three things will always be the key to the success.
Perfect, perfect. Truly well said. And that came from you, like you're the live example of that. Excellent. Thanks a lot, Ashwin. Thanks for your time. Stay in touch.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Okay.
so much, Sam.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye bye.
Cheers.